Hey guys, today it's all about inner beauty. So today's video is a response video to the Library of Sarah, who did a video called Besides the Text. And basically the video that she had was about just these inner mechanics of books, things that really make a book special, things that really further your enhancement of enjoying the story. So I picked out 10 books that I'm going to share with you guys. First is the A Series of Unfortunate Events series by Lemony Snicket. I really love these books. Every single book just has something very unique about it. These books aren't just pages with text on them. There's usually other things floating around on the pages that further just draw you into the story. For instance, in the Ersatz elevator, there's a part where Lemony Snicket is saying, Esme stretched out her other arm and used one of her long fingernails to press the up button next to the sliding doors. This was the most disconcerting thing of all, but by now, I'm sorry to say, it was too late. We'll take the elevator, she said, as the doors slid open, and then with one last smile, she swept her arm forward and pushed the Baudelaire orphans into the darkness of the elevator shaft. So then, when you flip the page, this is what you see. You see these two just all black pages. There is absolutely no text on them. This is basically what the Baudelaire siblings are seeing as they're going down the elevator. And I just thought this was such a unique and just silly, whimsical touch to the story. And all of Lemony Snicket's books are like that. Every book has some just particular thing. I remember one of the books, he's repeating something, and then that same word or line just repeats on the entire page. I think it repeats for a couple pages, actually. But yeah, all the Lemony Snicket books are just really cute and just have a really great sense of whimsy to them. And just little touches that I think kids enjoy. Some of my favorite book covers go to Gregory Maguire. If you've ever looked at Gregory Maguire's books, all of his books have, like, the cover, but there's a cutout there. You can fill the cutout. So when you open it, there's another image inside. And for this, I picked Confessions of an Ugly Stepsister. And what you see is the pumpkin chariot and the mice, and you can see Cinderella and the prince through the window. So it looks all very sweet and like the Disney story that you're imagining in your head. But then you open it and you see this really hilarious image, and it's a Cinderella and Prince Charming in a very not so kid-friendly position, I'll say. It's very sexy. He has his hand on her ankle, her bare ankle at that. So yeah, it's just an image that lets you know, hey, this is not going to be Disney. And all of Gregory Maguire's books are like that. There's always this really neat cover, and then you open it and you're like, ah. The next book I'm going to share with you guys is Cassandra Clare's Clockwork Princess. And it's not the inside of this book that has anything fascinating, it's just like a regular book. It's the inside of the cover. You take off the cover, and when you do, there's this really elaborate family tree of the major Shadowhunter families. I thought this was just such a great touch to the story. Whenever I get a book, I always take off the jacket to just to see if there's anything under there, and if the cover, the hardcover, is anything pretty. But yeah, I thought this was just a great touch and just something to really draw you into the story even deeper. These next books that I'm going to share with you are 3 books that actually connect to each other. I'm going to see if I can do this without them all falling apart on me. These books, it's a Titanic children's series by Gordon Corman, and if you can tell, when you line up all 3 of these books, the top portion actually forms the whole of the Titanic, which I thought was really neat. Next, I'll be sharing Water for Elephants by Sarah Gruen. And what I particularly loved about this book was that there's a lot of pictures in here, just like real photos about real circuses. Like, here's a photo right here with an elephant. And then I also love this one, another one with a circus trainer and her elephant. I just really thought all these pictures throughout Water for Elephants just really enhanced the story and gave you a good idea of what circus life was like. Because even though the physical writing would tell you what circus life was like, it was nice to kind of see the pictures at the same time. Next, Abraham Lincoln, Vampire Hunter by Seth Grahame-Smith. For one thing, I really like this cover. You got, I believe this is a real photo of Abraham Lincoln, and he has like a bloody handprint on him, and you can see an axe back here. And then what I really love is when you turn the book around, you see the back part of Abraham Lincoln, and you see that he's holding a severed head, and he has a bloody axe. I just thought that was really cool. Abraham Lincoln's just looking all badass. And like Water for Elephants, this book also has a bunch of pictures, and some of them are historical based, and then other ones look like they're kind of photoshopped a bit, but I'll share a few with you. There's this photo of Abraham Lincoln sitting down with George McClellan, and apparently there's an axe. You can see that there's an axe that's zoomed in down here, but like down here in the description, it says something about that he has his vampire hunter axe with him. There's also this photo of bones, skulls, but it's basically saying this is like vampire bones or something. And there's this really hilarious image of Abraham Lincoln physically killing a vampire. Next, I'm going to share Alice in Wonderland by Lewis Carroll. My edition has tons of drawings in it, like here's some drawings right here of Alice. But besides the drawings, there's also just interesting things about the text. For instance, I love this part here. It's a poem, but it's in the shape of a mouse tail, which I thought was really cute. And the poem is even about a mouse. Next, Dracula by Bram Stoker. I really love this edition of Dracula that I have. You can't really tell, but the edges of the book are red. They're kind of a light red. And then even in the inside, before you actually flip to a physical page, there's like this image of, I guess, blood cells. I just love the overall design of this book. See, the entire book is basically red inside. I can't imagine how much ink they used on this thing. Here, you can see the sides better now. And then even when you turn to a new chapter, even the chapter titles are in red, which is really cool, I thought. And there's tons of really cool photos throughout. I think all these photos really just enhance the story overall. And since this is a classic, it just really makes the story much more fun and enjoyable, I think, and it's not dull. Some other books that I really like belong to Dan Brown with his Robert Langdon series. In the Robert Langdon books, whenever a clue is mentioned or an image or a symbol, Dan Brown usually has some type of image within the text. For example, in Angels and Demons, the priests are all getting ironed with these images. Like one says earth, air, water, fire. But the thing about the images is that when you read them, when you flip it, it also spells the same word. I'm not sure how, it has a word when it's like that. When you see the word, but when you flip the word, it still spells out the same way. I remember Robert Langdon mentioning what that word is in the book, but I can't remember now. Like right here, when Robert Langdon comes across the first symbol, it says earth. And you can see it says earth, but also if you were to, I think when you flip it upside down, it still says earth. The same for air. You flip it, it still says air. And all of Dan Brown's books are like that. He'll usually have some sort of image that, like, if you don't know what he's talking about, he'll physically show you that image, which is really cool. And the last book I'm going to share with you is a series I have yet to read, but I really want to. And part of the reason I want to read the series is because of the cover. This is the Ghost Girl series by Tanya Hurley. For one thing, this book is not your traditional shaped book. It is oblong. And what I really love about it is it's actually kind of plasticky right here. Around the silhouette of the girl, it's a thick plastic, and like you can see through it. You can see the plastic shining, and then like the image of the girl is on the other side. Plus the edges, you can't tell, but they're a shimmering silver color. And I really love the inside. There's these images of like roses around it. Overall, I guess the book just looks really girly and cutesy. And it's kind of part of the reason I really want to read this, because of just the format of the book. It's not a traditional looking book. So that's all the books I wanted to share with you guys. I have plenty of other books lying around here. It's just I didn't really feel in the mood to shuffle everything around and try to figure out what books I could show. So this was just kind of a sampling of some of my favorite books that have just something really unique and different about them. So I guess that's it for today. I really hope y'all enjoyed. If you all have a favorite book there's something particularly interesting about it, feel free to share with me. So don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye guys.